with your hosts, Josh Kimmel, Dave Campbell, and Justin Bauerle.
Welcome into the Wednesday edition of the, it's Tuesday. Wow, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
I thought all day yesterday was Tuesday. I'm just going to let everyone know that, and I'll tell you why. I dominated all of my redraft matchups, so I had nothing to watch Monday Night Football for, so it was kind of useless for me. So I didn't realize it was Monday. But I did go 8-0 in redraft.
Monday was technically useless for me. I didn't have anything that was worth it. I had one team that was 100 points down, and all I had was Addison and Kirk Cousins. They had nobody. I got to 50 points down. That was the only matchup that really mattered. Other than like Scott Fishbowl, I had the first place team had CMC and they were playing against like a 2-win team that had Hawkinson, and I just needed CMC not to outscore Hawkinson by 12. He didn't. However, because of how many points were scored last night, the first place team beat the league median by 1 point, and I lost to the league median by 1 point. At the beginning of the night, I was up by 3 points to the league median. So now he's still one game ahead, and I'm sitting at tied for second with 3 other teams.
I dig it. it. See, I don't pay attention to league medium. I either say, do I win it or do I not? I have no time.
I've done so well with it so far, and like
right.
Every game I've won the league median. Every game I've lost the league median. I started 0-4, and now I'm 9-5 now, and it's just
solid. But we're here to talk about priority waivers. Yes. It's me and Justin. Dave is too busy doing real work. He said today he has to do his real job, so it's unfortunate. But we do have some people watching already. And I made this as an executive decision without speaking to Justin or Dave about it. This show is no longer going to be podcast on iTunes. There's no reason for it. By the time we go live and upload it, you guys have already making your claims. I understand that. So that's why I'm just keeping this YouTube exclusive for all you live listeners out there. We already have people in the chat. We'll get to you soon, Caden. Let me do my spiel first. If you want to ask us direct questions, please join our Discord. It's in the description. Please make sure you join or follow our socials at OUSFF Pod. Justin's cranking out amazing graphics. Follow me at Josh Kimmel OUS, where I talk about wrestling sometimes and lose followers because of my bad takes about Bijan Robinson today. People were not happy with that tweet. And you can follow Justin, of course, at Justin Bauerle. Let's get right into the priority waivers. Or do you want to talk about the news first? Then we always talk about the injuries. So let's talk about the injuries, news, and notes.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's that.
Time for injury news.
Here we go. Oh man, Justin. It's okay. Hey, it's still the preseason for some of us, right? I mean, anyway. Caden, to answer your question pretty quick, Christian Watson and Eckler, tough week. I'm not worried about them. It does suck that they have tough weeks, but everyone has tough weeks. Everyone can be inconsistent at times. Some of these players we're going to talk about are very inconsistent. The only one that's not inconsistent, seriously, Travis Kelce. Like,
yeah,
when he's playing, because he was hurt week 1, didn't play. Coming off the injury week 2, it's kind of like banged up, trying to get back into the offense. And ever since then, he's been straight money. So there's only one thing I know about is he's the only consistent player in fantasy football.
I know you don't really care about the Taylor Swift stuff, but for sake of your fantasy teams, if you have Travis Kelce, you're hoping Taylor Swift is there. He scores a lot more points when Taylor Swift shows up to the game. So,
as a person who took Kelce, I'm dying right here. As a person who took Kelce in the first round in many leagues, especially Scott Fishbowl, in my home league, I hate. I hate second half. I am dying. I hate, I mixed creatine before the show. You know how sometimes the creatine doesn't dissolve and then you get that big chunk?
Yep.
That's what happened. But I drafted Travis Kelce. He's awesome in the first half, 2 weeks in a row. Second half disappears. So here's I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again. Because I didn't see any Taylor Swift in the second half of that game. Did they both leave at half again? Because it happened against Denver. And it happened this week. I'm sitting there going, he's got 128 yards by half. He's got 10 catches at half. He's got a touchdown by half. Then at the end of the game, he has 11 catches. So he caught 1 ball in the second half, or maybe 2. Ridiculous. Over it. Look, 60 points is not enough for me. I need more. I wanted more. I wanted to smash my opponents into the ground. And 2 weeks in a row, Travis Kelce disappears in the second half. I'm telling you, she must have left because I didn't see her both times in the second half for both games. And I appreciate that. CBS or Thursday Night Football, Amazon. I appreciate not seeing that girl on my TV. I go out of my way not to see Taylor Swift on my television. And I go watch football so I don't have to see that. Anyway.
Back to fantasy football.
Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, head injury, left the game, but was cleared and was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to go back in.
So he took a pretty big hit in that first quarter of the Colts game. And yeah, it looked like it was going to be a concussion because his head did whip back, but it was more of the shoulder. He tweaked his shoulder. So for the rest of the game, you just saw his arm down like in front of him and he would cheer with his left hand instead. So I think they're just being more cautious about the shoulder and not tweaking it more.
I understand that. It's just the biggest heist ever is Deshaun Watson, what he did so far. Because I don't see this team. I don't know, man. I got rid of them in a dynasty.
That team is actually like really good. They just need a good quarterback right now. Their defense is rock solid. Their special teams is great. Everything about that team is good. They just need a consistent quarterback. And if PJ Walker can do it, then just keep letting PJ Walker do it. He's 2-0 now. So
yeah, I get that, but they did play the Colts, and I'm not saying anything bad about the Colts, but let's just be honest. The Browns were the number 1 ranked defense points per game. Now they're like 9th because of what the Colts did to them. So you told everyone
almost lost.
You told everyone on this show Wednesday night last week to bench Jonathan Taylor, don't play him. And I said no.
I said
no.
Moss.
You also said you wouldn't play, but you told someone not to play Jonathan Taylor. You told someone
I did say that, and then I started Jonathan Taylor.
And I started Jonathan Taylor too. And you know, the whole stigma of, well, they're a tough defense or a tough matchup. Well, why don't we look at the other side? That's a great player going against a tough defense. And sometimes great players overcome great defenses, and that's what Jonathan Taylor did. And he's going to continue to do. But more on Deshaun Watson. This kills Amari Cooper. This kills Elijah Moore. This kills the passing game. Yes, PJ Walker can get it done. Wins-wise, he's competent. He's not awful. He's not terrible. But, man, they paid Deshaun Watson a lot of money to play football and to score a lot of points, and he hasn't lived up to it. Hey, I'm sitting pretty at 6-1 watching you guys. So can I find out how to go 7? Well, listen, how you go 7-1? You keep on watching, you keep on listening, and you keep on picking up these waiver wire ads that we're about to talk about after the injuries.
Is Bobby really flexing his 7-1 record?
I'm coming after you, Bobby. I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you, and I'm going against Dirtbag Dave this week. Easy win.
Bobby, you almost lost to me last week, man. Oh wait, no, that wasn't you.
I'm coming back. Don't worry. What am I? 6-2. 6-2. Coming for you, Bobby.
5-2.
Luke Musgraves 5-2.
Yeah, you're 5-2.
Whatever.
I'm 2-5. So
whatever it may be. Luke Musgraves, ankle injury day to day. We told you to start him against Denver. He did leave the game, unfortunately. I'd monitor that. Unfortunately, he went out on tight end day. Gerald Everett, though, the person we told you to sit for Luke Musgrave, also left the game with a quad injury. He's also day to day.
He got a touchdown too early in the second quarter. Then the Chargers did nothing after he got hurt too. So not saying it's Gerald Everett's fault why they couldn't do anything in the second half, but a lot of tight ends hurt this weekend on National Tight End Day. That was odd.
And this one hurt. Dawson Knox wrist. He's having surgery, and I put length of time forever because I just traded for him in a very deep league, and I'm very upset about it. Like, very upset.
I just got Kincaid in a league. So
you did. But I got Saquon in return. So we did make a trade. I traded you a first and Kincaid for Saquon. Much needed. Yeah. Was it you? It was somebody. It must have been you.
Oh yeah, I gave you Saquon. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
must
right.
Have been you.
That's right.
Must have been you.
Yeah.
And the last injury on this list, which I just realized he got hurt. Because let me tell you something. Let me talk to you. On Sunday, I went to my grandma's house for the 4 o'clock games. My mom's in town. She just moved here from Colorado. She got here on Wednesday. So Wednesday, she's giving me shit for not seeing her. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. My Friday, my washer breaks. I'm trying to fix that all day Saturday. So she's giving me shit. 4 days in a row. I haven't seen her in 5 years. She's like, I just moved here on Wednesday. It's been 4 days. You haven't seen me. So I said, Mom, I'll make an obligation. I'll watch the 1 o'clock games. And so anyway, 4 o'clock games didn't exist in my life. I watched because my grandma doesn't have Red Zone. I lost my phone that day, by the way. So I didn't know any of these fucking things. It sucked. Jerome Ford out 1 to 2 weeks with an ankle. I heard high ankle sprain. You guys told me low ankle sprain. Either way, it's not looking good for the Cleveland Browns. Two
it's
major
the
injuries.
shorter version, which is the good news. Also, Bobby also clarified I traded for Kincaid everywhere apparently because he is right. I traded him Justin Jefferson and Jerome Ford to get DeAndre Swift, Brandon Ayuk, and Dalton Kincaid. So Bobby, your 6-1 or 7-1 record, whatever you are, you just got 200 players from my roster.
Oh man, that's rough, Bobby. That's rough. He just bodied you, Bobby.
And I got Swift, Ayuk, and Dalton Kincaid. Come on, I got 3 starters for 2 injured players. Let's go.
That's unfortunate, but you know what? He took our advice and he went after JJ, like he should have.
He did.
He's
exactly
7-1, and then whatever he is, 6-1, and he's about to go. He's about to dominate the playoffs with Justin Jefferson. So honestly, at the end of the day, you did what you're supposed to do. It's playing the long game. Look at you, Justin, 2-5. You're trash. Just kidding.
Well, I'm about to turn the whole league around since I got Ayuk. So
Ayuk and all right, let's go into the priority waiver wire targets. We have a few to go through today. There wasn't that many injuries, like we just said, and guess what? There's no bye weeks, no excuses. So let's get into the priority waivers.
Yeah. That requires me doing stuff, and
Yeah.
I realize that now. Here it goes.
This week's priority waivers.
Like I already said.
One of these days, I will remember to play videos.
It's okay. I try to set you up. I set it on a tee.
No, you did it so good. I was just like, oh yeah, I have to scroll down to the video clips now.
All right, let's go with the number one guy on our list. The number one priority. It's one of your hometown guys. It's the guy who I scorned you because Justin is dynasty dirtbag. Sometimes he's tanking on purpose in my league. And I called him out twice, by the way. Twice.
One league that I'm just not doing well in.
Yeah, so you had Josh Downs in your lineup, and I said nobody would start Josh Downs over this player, whatever player it may be.
You made me take him out.
I did, because I did not expect this game from Josh Downs. I'm an idiot, clearly. You should know, but you played my brother who's a Colts fan, who called you out, who texted me and said, hey man, tanking's not allowed, right?
For what it's worth, I think I actually had David Bell in, who did score 0 points. So
anyway, so Josh Downs went nuts, went bananas. He's rostered in 37% of leagues. This is a must add, our number one guy on our list. Just talk about him. Talk about how awesome he's been.
He's not the number one target for the Colts. However, he is the most productive target for the Colts. Michael Pittman Jr. gets double-digit targets every week except for 3 weeks this year, and go figure, the Colts lost 2 of those. And with Pittman also saying, I just didn't get targeted. He got targeted 5 times. He just didn't get targeted. I wonder how that does for Downs this week. But Downs is becoming a playmaker with the yards after the catch, with the deep ball. He's very fast. He's very, very quick, very efficient. He catches a lot of balls. He's caught 6, 5, and 5 over the last 3 weeks, and his point totals just continue to go up. They're double digits every week. I think he's going to be a big part of the offense moving forward for the rest of the year.
I think so too, especially with Gardner Minshew. Now, if Gardner Minshew wasn't in there and it was Anthony Richardson still, I don't think he'd be a talking point in week 7 or week 8. I don't think he'd be. Well, this is
Downs helps the entire offense. So if you've got Pittman, if you got JT, this is just going to help the 2 of them as well. This is going to help open the run game, because now you can't just stack the box because you have to cover Josh Downs down the field. If you're covering Josh Downs down the field, that's one less guy really focusing on Michael Pittman, which opens Michael Pittman up. And we know he's very physical and can catch the ball and get 60 yards after the catch for a touchdown and throw the deuces up. Which again, if you have to cover now 2 receivers, you can't stack the box with as many people against Jonathan Taylor. It's going to open up that entire offense.
I 1000% agree on that. The second guy on our list is Rashee Rice, wide receiver, Kansas City Chiefs, 58% rostered. I put him on here. I don't like to talk about guys who are over rostered, like 58%, but it's kind of important because people he should be higher. People are rostering Sky Moore still, Kadarius Toney still being rostered, MVS is still being rostered. And let's make it clear, Rashee Rice is the number one wide receiver target for Patrick Mahomes. His snap percentage is going up weekly. Week 5, he was at 30%. Week 6, he was at 49%. And week 7, he's at 59% snap percentage. Last week, he was a wide receiver 14. He had 6 targets. He did score a touchdown, but he is the one scoring touchdowns. He has 3 touchdowns on the year already as a wide receiver, as a rookie wide receiver. Something like QJ and a couple other rookie wide receivers are not doing. He's actually getting a lot of production. And honestly, he's probably a top 3 rookie receiver coming out of this draft, especially with this offense. We've seen the explosion. We've seen how open he gets. We've seen how Mahomes trusts him already. He has a very favorable matchup coming up at Denver versus Miami, which we know Miami can be had. We just saw A.J. Brown go nuts. Then he has a bye, and then against Philadelphia, where Philadelphia can be thrown on. We saw Mike Evans go nuts too. So I think he's a great ad, especially for the upcoming future, like right away. Like you can pick him up and plug him in right now against Denver if you have one of these guys who were hurt. What do we have? We have this.
We've got.
Wait a minute. First off, I didn't know he was coming. Second off, he didn't tell me.
Third off, surprise.
Was this like did you guys collude to get this going on?
No, he just literally popped in, and I was like, "Oh, Dave's here." Okay.
I got done with work early.
Dave, no, you didn't. You probably just did all the easy cars. Dave, instant reaction on my trade that just happened in my Dynasty League.
I don't know. I can't believe that you just did that. I'll be 100% honest, but hey, it's all good. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to win. So good for you. I just don't think he's worth the first, but it's all good.
I just want to say what's up, Cap for Life. Do I trade Darrell Henderson and Palmer for JSN? Oh,
yes.
Or JSN for Nico.
So Henderson and Palmer or JSN
for Nico.
Or Nico.
Yes, either one. I would prefer Nico, honestly.
If you're fine at running back.
Obviously, I'm assuming this is redraft, but yeah.
Henderson's going to be a very short-term player anyway.
Exactly.
Talk about Henderson. So, Palmer, wide receiver 2 for the Chargers right now. On a kind of bad
I would get rid of JSN. JSN and Henderson for Nico. I would do that.
Yeah.
I would do that. Just
Henderson and JSN for Nico.
Yeah, I would do that. Just because JSN will fall back in line once DK plays again. And Henderson, you're right. You get 2 to 3 more weeks, possibly. Dave, I'll tell you why I did that trade. And for all you people, it was a dynasty trade. I traded away my first round pick for Ramondre Stevenson just now. Like I just did. I just hit accept. I have Dave's first round pick. And Justin, we talked about the show. This is
I'll be picking 12th, so
exactly, and I'll be picking 11th or 12th. So I'll be in the ship game. You gotta sell to win, guys. You gotta sell to win. That's what I did.
I'm not mad about it. I know that's what you did. I understand that. I'm not mad about it. I don't think he's worth the first because I don't know his long-term future. But for this year, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It's going to be late, like you said. So it's not a bad trade. I love it for Fernie, but I think I like it for you too. It's a win-win.
The third guy on our priority waiver list is the Darrell Henderson. That's why I wanted to get to that question. He is a running back for the Rams. He's rostered in 25% of leagues. He's a must-add for us. He's clearly the best running back available on the waiver wire. How much are we spending, though? Like, how much money do you have left, and how much money are you going to spend on Darrell Henderson? That's my question.
He's not. I don't know. I mean, $20 maybe.
If you have
need a running back, more. Yeah. If you have it and you need a running back, if you're super desperate and you have bye weeks or injuries or whatever. Or you just started Keontae Ingram last week, or you started Zach Evans. I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Is that a passive attack on me? Is that a passive attack? First off,
I'm glad you caught on to that pretty quick.
First off, I want to say I co-manage that team with Davey Lehigh, and he's a big Ingram guy. He started Ingram against me in another league, and we had no other option, you jackass. We still won that
I'm sure you did. That's what I'm saying. If you have I know, I saw you did. I'm saying if you have no other options and you need a guy, he's a good filler. Like he's a decent filler. So
would you take
make your move?
So I have 3 guys that are must add: Rashee Rice, Josh Downs, or Darrell Henderson. Who would you prioritize number 1? Like rank them 1 to 3.
Ooh. If you need a running back, it's got to be Henderson. If you don't, and you're just looking for someone else, I like the rookie receivers. Whichever one you like more. I feel like Downs has more upside.
Downs has
Even though
more
Rice has
upside
been
because he
decent.
could be the top wide receiver target, even with Michael Pittman there.
Yeah, because Pittman's
Rashee
a
Rice still has to go
freaking
up against
bum.
Kelsey. They just got McCole Hardman, who is familiar with that offense, so that might take targets away from him as well. There's a little bit of uncertainty. I mean, there is certainty with Rice, but there's also with McCole Hardman joining that offense and starting to already play well with the Chargers after only being there for like 4 days. I'm going to prioritize Downs over Rice. And if you need a running back, then Henderson.
Yes, if you need a running back, Henderson has to be the first person. But I like Downs over Rashee Rice just strictly because you're right. Kansas City is hell. We saw that stat today that our buddy posted in our group chat. Andy Reid's been coaching for 25 years, only has 2 wide receivers ever with 1,000-yard seasons.
3.
3? Is it 3? So that was a
Yeah.
false. That was a fake
Tyreek,
lie.
No, it said 3.
And
It said T.O. Another one was another. Oh, Tyreek. Yeah, and T.O. And then they didn't say the third one was.
It's got to be
But-
Jeremy Maclin. It has to be Jeremy Maclin. Maclin
Yeah,
was good.
Did he have a 1,000-yard year back then?
Yeah,
what
I
about
feel like he did.
Deshaun
It
Jackson?
could have been Deshaun Jackson. That's what I said. It's either D-Jax or Macklin, and I don't know which one's
Dude,
which.
I feel like Macklin's had a couple 1,000-yard seasons. But
No, I think Macklin only had 1, but Deshaun had a few.
Yeah,
so I
Deshaun
don't
had a lot. Deshaun was really good.
Maybe Andy Reid had just left. I don't remember. I don't know.
Well, while Justin looks it up, we'll
So
go
Kevin Curtis had 1,100 yards in 2017 or 2007. Deshaun Jackson did it twice in 2009 and 2010 with 1,100 and.
Was he with Andy Reid then?
Yeah, was Andy Reid still there?
I don't think this is a true fact. I don't think it's true because I,
don't
feel like
think it
there's
is,
been
because
multiple
right now
guys.
that's 3 Eagles. So maybe they're just talking about the Eagles.
I don't know.
Receivers.
No, because he talked about Tyreek.
Yeah,
They mentioned Tyreek in that.
Andy
So,
Reid
I don't know.
Andy Reid joined Kansas City in 2013. So yeah, he would have had both Kevin Curtis and Deshaun Jackson,
Kevin Curtis
and
was
Terrell Owens, and now Tyreek. So
well, then that can't be. That's a terrible
4.
stat. Who made that crap up?
That's a terrible stat. Fake lies.
Why is our
Mythbusters
friends
right
bringing
here.
up fake shit in our chat? That's
Now you got to go back and throw it in their face.
That's what they do. Anyway, that's a Dave thing. All right, these 2 players that are worth a look. I know that we talked about Kendrick Bourne multiple times, but he's put up double-digit fantasy points 2 straight weeks. He's rostered in 27%. It's hard to say go out and add him right now because he is so up and down. There are no bye weeks, like I said, so you're not missing any kind of key players due to a bye. But if you have one of these injured players or you still need something to fill in, he's someone that can give you a look. Not someone I'm really wanting to go get and start right away, but he's worth a look in case you need someone.
The big
Last
thing
week
is
I picked him up and started him.
Yeah,
I know
because I had to.
The big thing is he does go against Miami this week.
I was going to bring that up. They're going against Miami, but Big D Mac Daddy's not going to play well. Don't worry, guys. Actually, you know what? Don't start Kendrick Bourne. Big D Mac Daddy's about to get destroyed.
That's tomorrow's show, Josh. The real question for we keep talking about, they're going up against Miami's defense. Their secondary sucks. What happens when Jalen comes back? And isn't he coming back soon?
Yeah, and
maybe he just started like practicing. He's probably still a little ways away, I would think.
I mean,
right?
he's like probably 3 weeks away. I mean, you get a 21-day window for that. So, but I mean, 3 weeks away is week 11. So that's when we're really getting into fantasy. I'll be curious about their wide receivers against the Miami defense once him and Xavier Howard are back to full time.
This next guy on our list, I actually held a funeral for myself because I thought he was dead in the water this year, but apparently he's back because Dawson Knox decided to break his wrist and have surgery. So Dalton Kincaid rostered in 43% of leagues. All you people still held on to him while he was doing nothing. Congratulations. If you don't have him and you need a tight end, which 80% of you do, don't meh. Knox
has not been good either. So like I don't know why that really matters. I guess maybe he'll get more snaps. He had a good game this week, but I was on Kincaid. Unless something changes. I don't know. I mean, it's still going to be Diggs. Get Cook still in the offense. Josh Allen's still going to turn the ball over.
If you
need a tight end.
I think
I don't know.
Gabe Davis is taking a huge step back too. Oh, he's gone. Good.
Who's gone?
I'm gone. Am I here?
You were frozen there for a second. Yeah.
So Dawson Knox is playing a lot of snaps, a ton of snaps actually, and getting about 4 targets a game, whereas Kincaid's also been getting about 4 targets a game. They've been splitting targets. So if you have one tight end that's going to take all the targets now, that's huge. So you're going from 4 targets a game to maybe possibly 8, 9 in that offense where they're struggling and they need to play well. I'm just saying he's worth a look.
I think you add him. I agree with that.
He's worth a look because who else? If you don't, like I said, if you don't have one of the top guys, you're out there trying. Look, we had Gerald Everett go down. We have Luke Musgrave go down. We had Dawson Knox go down. That's 3 tight ends that you could have possibly started that went down. You're going to need help. I'm not saying go out there and spend $20 on him. Just spend $5 on him or whatever. So he's definitely someone you need to go.
I agree with that.
Next guy on our list, or we're going to the worth of stash, and I want to bring this guy up first. Kyler Murray. It's rostered in 43%.
He's gotta be owned everywhere.
43%.
Only 43%.
Mm-hmm.
That's because of casual leagues. I already checked every league I'm in. He's on. So
and because of me,
it is what it is.
I drafted him and I rostered him.
I'm the same way. I have him in a league or two, and I know people that do. So, but yeah, if he's out there 100%, he should be picked up. 1,000% he should be picked. He should be the number 1 waiver priority, unless you have Mahomes or Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts or a super stud. Then you don't want to waste that spot. I get it. Otherwise,
if for some reason you're struggling with the quarterback, which in 1 quarterback leagues, hopefully you're not struggling for a quarterback at this point. But yeah, he should definitely be thought of. The only worry is the Cardinals do have a lot of financial reasons not to play him at all this year.
But he's gonna play.
Do they?
They came out.
If he's not healthy in like March 2024, they owe him like $24 million.
Yeah, but then that's going to be a lawsuit waiting to happen if he's ready to go and all that stuff. So we'll see. Anyways, I mean, if he's practicing, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't bring him back at this point. But we'll see.
I agree. Let's get the cat for life. Please rank the squad.
I mean, we'll see. I know how money runs the world.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
Please rank the squad. That's right. C.J. Stroud, ETN, Barkley, Puka, Sun God, Kittle, Palmer, JSN, Spears. I'm not reading the rest. What do you guys think about that roster? Is that a playoff?
I heard a bunch of really nice players. ETN. Who else you said? Stroud is. I don't love
the
Stroud.
Same guy that we also just said send JSN and Henderson to get Nico Collins. So let's include Nico Collins in that list.
If
remove
he can do
Henderson
it,
and JSN,
yeah, that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good squad. I don't hate it. Especially,
I'd be curious about his record.
But if you have CJ Stroud, he's kind of like tempering that quarterback 12 range. He's always like the 10 to 14 range.
Very consistent.
Try to go get Kyler Murray if he's available. I'm speaking to you. Like the people that have CJ Stroud and been rolling with him, he's been good. But if you can get Kyler and throw him on your bench and maybe drop a Tank Bigsby because he's been nothing, go ahead and do it. That's what I would do. I'm talking to the CJ Stroud roster people. We'll get to Devin Singletary, man. He's next.
Literally
running back,
next.
Texans, 15% rostered. It's worth a stash. He's been out snapping Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce has been dog water. He's been like an average 2.9 yards per carry. Or Singletary, which if you followed the show, me and Dave, and I think Justin, we're all in the agreement that he's going to take over this backfield sooner rather than later, and I think it's coming. I think it's coming now. His snap.
I'm not convinced.
I'm not fully
I think you definitely pick him up, but I haven't seen anything special. I think it's the offense. It's Stroud's playing well. They're going to pass the ball. Feels like they can't run block maybe. I don't know because both of them aren't playing that well.
If you got
room on your bench, sure.
Yet, but yeah, I'll hold him on my bench, but I'm not putting him in my starting lineup yet.
No, I don't think Josh is saying that yet, but
no.
I don't see what I thought. It's week 7, and they're both just
look, which is exactly the section he is in right now.
Yeah.
So worth a look.
He's worth a look. It's totally fair, but he did play 54% of snaps against New Orleans. He had 12 carries, which he had a season high. He hasn't had double-digit carries ever this season. He actually never eclipsed over 40% snap share, so that's a positive. Maybe they're looking at Dameon Pierce and going, wow, he's not producing. Let's get in a veteran in here that could probably tote the load. He does have Carolina this week, and he has a sweet schedule from 11 to 14. He plays Arizona, Jacksonville, Denver, the Jets. I'm not saying you go pick him up like Dave said. I'm not assuming pick him up, playing him in now, but I put $1 on him. Every league I'm in, I put $1 on him. To make sure I at least get him.
If you have a guy that's worth cutting, I think he's worth adding. We'll see. This is my thought with running backs. If there's a running back that's getting any kind of play, he should be on a team, and that goes for Singletary. So, yeah, I see what you're saying. And we already know Pierce is not that good. We said that in the preseason. He's not on any of my teams. I'm not worried about that. But That should have been easy to see. I don't even know why people like that guy, but it is what it is.
Does Damian Pierce runs hard, and people like players that run hard? Like he runs hard.
Cool.
Like I like watching him play,
Right.
but he runs hard for 2.9 yards.
Exactly.
And the last guy on our waiver wire target list, I just recently added him, rostered in 1% of leagues. The guy who's going to take over Ramondre Stevenson's job, according to Dave, Pierre Strong.
Pierre Strong, let's go. First of all, I never said he was going to take over. I said it could happen because you can't trust these freaking Patriots coaches. And instead of Pierre Strong, it was Zeke. So same thing.
Oh, he did not take over. He did not take over at all. Ramondre is still producing.
All I'm saying, because of his catches, luckily.
That's what I said.
Luckily,
that was my whole.
I know that, but he's still taking touchdowns the way that you want Ramondre to get.
Yeah, that hurts.
But no, you're right. Go ahead, pick up Pierre Strong.
So just Justin, on your end, what do you think about Pierre Strong in this offense? Do you think they're going to roll with Kareem Hunt like 70%, 60%, or do you think Pierre Strong's going to get some meaningful carries?
I think he's going to get some carries, but it's going to be more of like Kareem Hunt is gassed and needs to take a break for a second. I mean, I think with Hunt's going to be the guy at this point. I think if he does well enough, Hunt might be the guy going forward, and forward is the guy that's stepping in.
Boom. I like that. I agree.
I mean, 14.5 points in week 6 against San Francisco, 15 in Indy.
He's getting goal line touches. He's getting work. He knows the offense. It's not like he's new. He was there last year. Didn't Ford have like a 70-yard touchdown and finish the game with 15 carries or something for 80 yards? I mean, he's obviously not good. He had one big breakaway run. Anyone can do that.
Yeah, he had the 70-yarder or whatever on the third play of the game.
Well,
so
didn't Addison have like a huge touchdown catch? What did he end up with? Because I don't.
Well, he did intercept the ball from the defender. So, it was like a 60-yarder.
Okay, what did he end up with? What did Addison
124.
That's pretty damn good. I can't make fun of him. What about Michael Pittman?
I know what you were trying to do, bitch.
Well, I can do that with Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman sucks. I agree. That's my point. Like anybody can have like a big play. It doesn't mean
Pittman had 83 yards and 2 catches. So
he saved his fantasy
60
day.
of that was from one play.
I want to say this. Congratulations, Cap for Life. 0-4. Now he's 3-4. That's how we do things. That's how we turn things around.
Yeah.
It's not over.
The show. It's never over, man. It's a week-to-week game. It's a week-to-week.
We just talked about how I started Scott Fishbowl 0-4. Now I'm 9-5. So you got to turn it around at some point, and you apparently turn it around in week 5. So
and here's how you turn that around. You're gonna watch some players that aren't doing so well and try to trick some people into trading for them. So let's go into our next segment, which is players to watch. Where I have 4 players who are underachieving on their football team right now, who you invested high draft capital. So first guy on our list, he's rostered in 100% of your leagues. He played last Sunday night. Devontae Smith, wide receiver from the Eagles. This has been a season-long story, actually. If you watch football, you notice Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, these number 2 receivers on these elite offenses are not producing. And Devontae Smith is just a product of A.J. Brown, is just that damn good. A.J. Brown has 5 games in a row of 125 more yards. It's an NFL record. And Devontae Smith sitting there going, hey, man, I'm open too. So what do we do with Devontae Smith?
Go ahead,
we have nothing. We don't know what to do.
I have him in a league or 2. I'll hold him. I mean, you can't really trade him because people are going to try to get him too cheap. But I think he's a good buy low target. He had a good start to the season. But right now, you're right. A.J. Brown is just that guy, which is exactly why I've always said the guy's a monster. And Devontae Smith's a great number 2. He'll have his games. You kind of knew this going into the season. He's not A.J. Brown. Like he's not, just like T. Higgins isn't that guy like you thought he was. Chase is the man. Like there's guys who are dogs, and there's guys who are just not as good. We still love Devontae Smith. I think he's a great player. But right now, A.J. Brown is just on a run, and he's unstoppable right now. So kind of got to wait that out. I wouldn't trade him. Personally, I would keep him, and I would try to buy him low if I could.
We have a couple of breaking news injury stories, Josh. Do you
Oh,
wanna-
okay. All right. Let's do this. Break some news.
First off, Ryan Tannehill won't practice today and probably won't play this week, so it's going to be a mixture of Malik Willis and Will Levis
Let's
on
go.
Sunday. And then also Zach Ertz is being put on the IR. So tight
Zach
end,
What?
got to
Zach
get you a
Ertz?
tight end. Zach
Trey
Ertz is
McBride
on
needs-
IR.
Trey McBride needs to be added.
Yes.
Put him on your list.
Yeah, get Trey McBride onto your rosters today.
I like that.
And if you can't get Trey McBride, go get Don Kincaid like we were saying earlier.
I like Trey
So
McBride. You can get him
big news
cheaper.
story there.
I just want to say this about Devontae Smith. He's been wide receiver 69, 25, 99, 40, and 44. Almost unusable. Period.
Yes.
Like, that's just a fact. He's also, but he's getting the targets though, 9, 5, 11, 5. It's just he's not converting on these targets.
He was dropping some balls.
He was dropping some balls. It's just not looking great, especially with the upcoming schedule. He does have Dallas, a bye, Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco.
What are you doing with him then? Are you?
What am I doing?
Yeah,
if I
what are
could,
you gonna
if I could package him off of his name value with another secondary player to get a better player, of course I'm going to do it.
All right,
Someone's
that's
gonna
fair.
be someone
Sure.
like you is going to go, oh, it's Devontae Smith. He'll turn it around. Well, if you're sitting there at 0-4 or 3-4 and you need to win now, like even 3-4, you still need to win now. One more loss, if you get 6
You're
losses,
done.
you're pretty much out of the playoffs almost, right? So if you're 3-4 and you're sitting there with Devontae Smith, why not package him and a JSN or
First of all, if you're
Henderson?
3-4, your team's probably not good enough to be packaging guys. Like that's kind of the issue. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That
let's
is
be
the
honest.
issue.
Unless
But
you had a lot of, maybe you had a bad start because you had Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor. I mean, I've been there, and now you guys are coming
Justin
back. But like,
Jefferson on your roster.
yeah, like
got-
unless you
got guys
got
that are injured.
really unlucky, you're probably, if you're sitting at 3-4, not doing too hot. So
Of
that's
course.
kind of my issue with that. That it's like, do I really have the players to package? You're probably, which is what I'm doing in our league, our poker league. Looking to trade a stud for maybe 2 really really good players. So, and I don't think you're going to get that for someone like Devontae Smith right now. So it's hard. If you have a really good team, your team's stacked, and you can package, like you said, Devontae Smith with somebody else to get a stud. I'm all for that.
Yes, it is. Look, you're never going to make it like Justin's thing says behind him. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Scott. Well, if you don't send out trade offers, and this is a problem with many people, if you don't send out trade offers, and people like me and Dave get trashed all day, oh, you got over, you colluding. No, we're sending offers out. We're making deals. If you don't send offers out, you'll never know. Somebody out there might go, you know what? I will trade Devontae Smith and this player for
Whoever.
Nico Collins. I'd rather have, if you could package Devontae Smith and a Darrell Henderson for Nico Collins, would you do that? Someone who's producing week in, week out?
Is he
someone who's
though?
not?
Is he
kind of
producing
is.
week in and week out? He's
More
had
than
like 3
Devontae
good
Smith?
games.
More than
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Okay,
I'm
we'll take
saying
away
you
Nico
also have
Collins.
to project forward. That's my point.
He's had more games under 7 points than he's had over 20. Over 10.
That's my
Okay,
thing
well,
with Nico, like who I like.
Well, then
but
someone else like in the mid, like in that mid wide receiver 9 to 15, someone in there. There's got to be someone that's worth it.
I mean, there may be. I'm not saying there's not. I don't know who that guy would be.
Christian Kirk. Let's go to the next guy, which is the Christian Kirk's rival. Because I told y'all Calvin Ridley was going to be kind of useless in this offense because Trevor Lawrence does not like to
You didn't tell us. We all said this. We all agreed on this.
I told them, the people watching.
Okay.
The people watching. You guys all knew. Calvin Ridley, another guy underperforming, rostered in 99% of leagues. The guy is a super stud. The guy has the name value. The guy could blow up week in, week out, but he's just not. This is a guy that you could easily get off your roster and get equal value for. I believe. I still believe in the name.
You have to wait for him to have a good. You have to wait for him to have a good game because right now nobody believes in him. I would say nobody, but people are down on him. They've seen that he's only had 2 good games. He just came off a 1-catch game. Yes, there might be that one like crazy fan who's like, I love Calvin Ridley. He's going to be fine, but those guys are hard to find. I think you need to wait for him to have a big game, and as soon as he does, you have to trade him if you don't want him anymore. Because I don't know if you can get – I just have a hard time believing that you're going to get value for Calvin Ridley right now at this point.
He's just sitting in your roster. It just stinks.
I know.
Justin, what do you do? Justin?
I say sorry that you drafted Calvin Ridley at this point because you shouldn't have. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I see where Dave's coming from. You need him to have at least one game, even if you can get him to 7 or 8 or 9 points in a game. It's gonna be better than nothing. Right now, his value is so low that if he does pop off, you got him for you traded him for nothing. He's not like Justin Jefferson, where you can trade a boatload. You can trade him for a boatload of assets back. I don't know if Calvin Ridley will have that pop-off game at this point. He might have one more, but at that point, you might not even be in the season anymore.
That's 1,000% true. I agree with all that. It's gonna be hard.
But
It's just
it
sucks.
never hurts to just make offers. Send Ridley for.
He's a guy
just to see what happens.
You need to try to package
Because
for like a slight.
if you could get like
upgrade.
Jacoby Myers instead, who's wide receiver 12 right now, that would work. If you could get Michael Pittman, who's not, he just said he doesn't get targeted much, but he does. That could potentially sway somebody. Maybe you say, well, Pittman's got Minshew, Downs is coming up. Like, is he really worth it? And then try to swindle your way out of Calvin Ridley, but his value is just so low right now.
Very low. Another guy who's very, very low, Amari Cooper, Browns, rostered in 98% of leagues. This guy, man.
He's killing me.
I don't know why he drafted him.
I got him in one league that I didn't want him in, and I regret it already. I don't ever draft it. You know I hate this guy.
Yeah,
I took him. I forget how late I got him. And, he's my wide receiver 3, 4. I'm rotating between him and London. And, man. They both are either like
rotating between him and London sounds like the worst fantasy.
But guess what?
Of all
Guess
time.
who's in first place in that league? Me. Thank you.
Cool. Big time, Dave.
That's how good the rest of my team is.
He's getting the targets. He's getting the snap share. He's getting the 8 targets a game, which that's perfect for a wide receiver 1. You want a little bit more, but in that offense, 8 a game is perfect. But he's not converting. He's dropping a ton of balls. Just 2 catches, 4 catches, 1. He has literally 7 catches in the past 4 weeks.
God, that's pathetic.
He did have a bye week in there, but also it adds to the whole. When I clip this later for YouTube or for Twitter, it's going to sound like he's terrible. So, yes, Amari. Let me say it real clear. Amari Cooper has 7 catches in the past 4 weeks. Amari Cooper, let's have his funeral because he is dead in the water.
I don't think he's dead. I think Watson needs to come back and actually play and stop being a what. That's what I think needs to happen. But then again, I'm kind of over Watson too, so whatever. That's that guy.
Funeral. Anyway.
And now, a moment of silence.
Rest in peace, Amari. It's been fun.
If we don't have the Undertaker music next week, I'm out.
Yes, let's get sued by WWE and Endeavor. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm sure they're waiting. They're waiting on our podcast to sue us.
YouTube flags that stuff, Dave. They don't. It's a computer. Everything's AI. Everything's AI.
Yeah, I forgot about YouTube. Whatever.
Anyway, the last guy on our list, Najee Harris, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, 95%
Who?
roster. Najee Harris.
Who?
Najee Harris.
I don't know who that is.
The guy who our buddy Alex Balsamo proclaimed the number one dynasty running back.
A couple years ago, I remember that.
I got him last year for like nothing, and now I'm just like, can I give him back for nothing?
Yes,
God.
Thank God I don't have that bum on my team. No teams.
You could say about him.
I did trade him away.
He's got the volume. That's it. That's all you can say about him. 14 carries a game. He's had 14 carries every single game since week 4.
Has he had like 38 yards rushing or something each time? I don't even know. I don't even know because I don't have him in 18, so I don't know what he's doing.
He had 71, 37, and 53. He's been running back 36, 17, 35, 42. He's been unusable.
He's not catching passes and he's not scoring touchdowns. So
that's
He
the
got-
problem.
I don't see him on red zone or anything. So I think I did
He
see him
got
fall
a
in the end zone.
touchdown last week.
Yes. And his yards per carry were 3.79 last week. Yards per carry the week before, or the week before he played, was 2.64. The guy is just, I don't know if it's the offensive line. I don't know if it's him reading holes because Jalen Warren.
I know the O line is not good, but yeah, I mean,
Is it Matt Canada?
Warren looks better.
It's just, are we doing this whole Zeke Pollard thing where Warren just looks better, but Warren just looks better because he's not Najee Harris? Is that what it is? Because
I mean, maybe.
I don't know what's happening. but Warren's getting all the receptions. Warren's getting everything, whereas Najee's getting in between the 20s and not scoring touchdowns except for last week, which was nice. But if you're starting him, you don't feel good. You just don't feel good.
Package Najee and Devontae Smith for somebody. I mean, you won't get much for him, but
For Justin Jefferson, that's what you'll get.
Yeah,
if
there
that,
you go.
if that.
No, if you can get Justin Jefferson for those two guys, you better run and do that.
Well, hey, if you doesn't hurt to try. I mean, I don't roster any of these guys, but if I did,
literally, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? They say no, or like you're stupid. Like you know how many DMs I got back? They were like, absolutely not. That's stupid. I was like, well, you had to try.
Yeah, dude. If you don't shoot your shot, you'll never know.
If you are a 3 or less win team right now in fantasy football, you need to be making trades to every single team out there. There's a player on every roster that somebody doesn't really care about, or you might want, and you can package for it. You just have to make those offers, unless their names are Josh or Dave.
Yes, unless your names are Josh and Dave. But guys, we are going to get out of here. We're going to wrap this bad boy up. We'll be back. Well, we'll be back tomorrow, 8:00 Eastern on the nighttime time. You know, the night when the sun goes down. We'll be talking about start sits. We'll be playing keep, trade, cut. We have 4 lists, 4 different categories. This is going to be a fun time. Dave, are you going to be there? Look at Dave vibe.
Probably.
Dave
hated this is my jam right here.
Dave hated this song.
I never hated it. I thought it was weird. No, I did. I thought it was weird, but I still like it.
The song rules. MJF rules. Our show rules. Make sure you follow us everywhere. OUSFF Fantasy Pod or OUSFF Pod. Make sure you join our Discord below. Guys, we're going to get on out of here. See you tomorrow night.
I want to hear some Undertaker music.
Peace out.
Let's bring on.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Follow on X and Instagram at OUSFFPOD. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.